Okay, so this is the trade I took today, and it's pretty good, pretty big moment for me. I just started my first account with Top Step, which is pretty hype because I've been trading with one of one for a very long time. Every YouTube video you see, I've traded with one of one and longer before that. But I don't know, things just haven't been working out. Like my account just keeps to seems to be running into issues and like they can't really tell me why, and they haven't been emailing me back or anything. So since the last video I posted is pretty much the last day I traded, and I've been wanting to do a Top Step account because they're pretty cheap for the size of the account, and they seem like a reputable source, and I've been on a bit of a winning streak, and I think I'm at least more than a 50% win rate. So I was on the other account, and this is the first trade I took today on the new account, and it's definitely interesting seeing so much more being risked. But I'm only really going to be going for one to ones because I can hit those pretty often, just like today. But however, if market looks good, then I'll go for a two to two. And I knew it this low after it had hit my break even point. I kind of figured we were going to go higher from there, but I am going to stick to my plan of just trying to find a trade within the macro. I think I have a more than 50% win rate when I trade within this area, so I'll stick to that. But let's go over the trade today. So I trade with TJR strategy, and I watched his most recent video about he talks about like market manipulation before market opens, can kind of tell you where it's gonna go. And I don't fully understand it yet, but like in London session we had this manipulation then reversal, and we came up and took out this high and made London high, and then pre-market opened here, yeah, at 5 a.m. and there was manipulation that pushed us lower, and I kind of found this to be like it was like swept highs to go low to sweep these lows and then push higher. And so plus on ES we made a pretty big SMT off of that low, like on the 5 minute. Yeah, so ES didn't sweep these lows, and Nasdaq took them out pretty hard. Along with all of this, there was an hourly low within here that was swept. So we swept that along with this fair value gap we tested, and we poked into this order block. We did break structure on the 5 minute to the downside, which had me skeptical. Like I was prepared for shorts because we had already swept London high and then pushed up and filled this opening gap. So like I didn't know how much higher we were gonna go. There's like this resting liquidity here, so or this low resistance liquidity. So we could have gone to sweep those, but yeah. Anyways, market opened at 6:30, so this down candle, and then yeah, we broke structure to the downside, but I seen this order block and this fair value gap, and probably well, yeah, equilibrium within this whole move. On I don't know if that would no, never mind. Anyways, I seen confluences there off of the 5 minute and the 1 minute. Sorry. Seen confluences here and then pushed into the macro at 650 after making this SMT and confirming it on the 5 minute. We test that order block, that fair value gap. So I was looking to go long. I mean, if I seen like I was ready for like we pushed up, and you could have said like I don't know, like if this is the breaker block or this is the order block. We pushed up into here and saw a bearish closer out of that. I probably would have gone short if we inversed, say, this gap and maybe disrespected this gap and targeted London low and this hourly low. But like we respected this first gap, market came down, came into it, and then bullish closure out of it. So I went long there. Biting my nails a little bit here, thinking that we were about to just fucking completely inverse this gap on this candle. But as soon as I make a trade, I've said in previous videos, like I just have to learn to not touch my stop loss and take profit once I have it placed. Like That's it. And I would have wanted to set these lows or this my stop loss a little lower, but the contract risking on Top Step is a little different than the other accounts I've used because I can set up like a limit order and it tells me the price of the stop loss and the take profit. Whereas on Top Step I'm just trading with contracts, so I kind of like this is 50 pips. That's about $500 on my account. So I can do math off of that. Like if I had like a 100 pip stop, then well I could risk $500 still, but it would be what like two and a half contracts, I think, for 100 pip. And then like if I had like a shorter stop loss like 25, that would be 10 contracts, right? So, but anyways, 1 to 1 with the 50 pip was pretty much exactly in line with this high right here. Yeah, it was a 1% extra, but yeah, just held through drawdown. We tested this gap and then bullish closure out of that. I was pretty confident once we didn't inverse it and then we closed out of it. And then it's just a waiting game from there. I took my 1 to 1. Originally with the other account, like I would have liked to take partials and then probably target these highs, move my stop loss to break even, which wouldn't have worked out for me because we literally seek and destroyed fucking my buy-in perfectly pretty much and then went and hit take profit, which would have been pretty sad. But with this account, like at 6% to pass the combine, and like I said, I hit 1 to 1s relatively often. I know I should try to aim for more than that because if I'm risking 1%, but if my win rate is more, then you know like that equals out. Plus, from time to time, I will hit like a bigger trade, but for the first trade on the account, I wanted to win it, and yeah, that was pretty much it. ES had pretty similar price action. However, I think this is where I got in on my trade. If my stop loss, like I don't know. Uh, wait, no. Yeah, fucking. Oh no, never mind. I don't actually know my calculated risk for ES now that I'm looking at it. I thought it was gonna be like 50 pips as well, but 9.25. I don't know. And yeah, there wasn't really a take profit until this, which did eventually get hit, but that would have been a long time to wait, like 10:36. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, that ended up getting hit anyways. Yeah, I didn't trade ES because Nasdaq is the one that swept liquidity, and so like ES was already up here and then took out these highs, so I didn't really like that would have been a pretty big risk to reward that I would have had to target. But yeah, I don't know. I won't say anymore because I don't want these to be too long. This one's probably going on, but yeah, that's the trade, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. There's a lot of news this week, so I'll be skeptical, but yeah, good trade.